Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate your views. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please click that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out to get the algorithm noticing my posts. So today I'm going to talk to you about something that I have not really been able to articulate for the longest time, but I think I can do it today, and that is, what is the movie Fight Club really about? So I posted about Fight Club in another one of these PJ Brubeck or PJB Film School videos like last year, and I was talking about how like the danger of identifying with monsters, and the movie Fight Club is a dangerous movie for a lot of folks, and sure, I can understand why because it's a very violent film and it's kind of has sort of an anti-authority message, which is dangerous for some folks. Um, but it's also a really surreal movie too. Like it's not a logical film. It has like a dreamlike structure, which I was told when I was in film school was a oniric structure. That's the fancy way of saying it. Like for example, Pulp Fiction is oniric because it's non-linear. It jumps in time back and forth. We all can agree to that, right? So, but Fight Club, it's a little difficult to talk about without giving away salient plot points. But I'll just say that I think what it's really about is that it's about processing and overcoming trauma. Now, one of the controversies about the film, suggested by people like Roger Ebert, was that it glorifies violence and men beating each other up because it's fun, right? Like, oh, such a tough guy. It's toxic masculinity is the term that later emerged. When I saw it, I was 19, and that term was not really floating around anywhere. But a lot's happened since then. So, so what's the trauma? Well, duh, the trauma is totally self-inflicted. It's these guys beating each other up. They're punching each other. They're getting into fights for no reason. And it's not that they're overcoming childhood trauma, I don't think. I think it's more just self-inflicted. Yeah, for the longest time I thought that sorry, I'm like taking off my boots. I won't do that now. Uh for the longest time I was trying to decode like what is this movie really saying? Is it about mental illness? Because the main character, the narrator doesn't have a name, played by Edward Norton. He kind of envisions this alter ego, Tyler Durden, which is kind of like his ideal self, but like his ideal bad self, which is also known as the shadow. So the shadow self does the dirty, dangerous things that the narrator doesn't have the courage to do. And so he creates this alternate personality to do those things that he is scared to do. And this deals a lot with the idea of the shadow, which is a trope that I mostly know about from like men's meetings and stuff, which happens a lot in the early scenes of Fight Club. He starts going to these meetings and learning about himself and his predilections, I guess you could say. And then it kind of kicks off this whole story. He just goes on this journey, and really any major film by major studio is going to follow a certain rigid structure, and that's the story of the hero's journey, right? The hero goes on a journey. There's also an alternate story, which is a stranger comes to town. And the weird thing about Fight Club is that it's actually kind of like both of those two stories. Because the hero going on the journey is the narrator, Jack, is he's referring to himself. Jack goes on a journey, and he goes into the underworld of underground fights. But then at the same time, there's a stranger who comes to town, and that's Tyler Durden. So it's kind of like you got these two tropes that are united into one film, and it's a unique film. It really is truly unique. I wonder why it's so popular even to this day. It's been 27 years since it came out. That's a whole lifetime. If anybody wants to weigh in about what Fight Club means to them, tastefully, please say so in the comments. I'd like to hear about it. And this is going to be a short one today. But yeah, I just think that, like, for some reason, I really latch on to dark movies like Fight Club, Clockwork Orange. Like, they're super dark, but there's something about them that's forbidden or attractive. And beyond being good art, they're also kind of difficult movies to watch now. And when I was younger, I watched Fight Club and I was like, I didn't love it, but it definitely made an impression on me. Edward Norton is actually one of my favorite actors, though, and I think he's done a lot of really great work. I really wish that he would get an Oscar because he really deserves it, and he hasn't been nominated a lot, but he was nominated for Birdman. He was nominated for that great biopic of Bob Dylan from a couple years ago, where he played Pete Seeger. I really think Edward Norton deserves more work. I think he's a very intelligent, thoughtful actor. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Again, tell me about Fight Club. What do you think about it? We're interested to hear your thoughts, because I think it's still very highly rated on the IMDb page, and a lot of younger folks still vote. So, yeah, tell me what you think. Peace.